On the regulatory front, Capitol Hill got spicy yesterday when the Senate Commerce Committee convened to debate a provision in the federal budget bill that would block state level AI regulations for 10 years. A full moratorium that could override critical privacy and discrimination protections until 2035. Lawmakers from both parties are clashing over whether a single federal standard is worth elbowing out state innovation labs and civil rights champions. All right, brace yourself. This is your Need to Nerd basis. The AI stories that matter this week, packed with insight, sass, and scalable intelligence. Welcome to your Need to Nerd basis, your daily download of the AI news that actually matters. Not the fluff, not the hype, just the signal. I've sorted through the chaos so you don't have to. Whether you build with AI, scramble to patch AI exploits, or just want to sound smarter than the board, this is your lane. Let's nerd out. First up, OpenAI has quietly inked a multi-year deal to tap Google Cloud for extra compute muscle. Despite public posturing that Microsoft Azure is its one true partner, OpenAI is hedging its bets, diversifying to stave off capacity crunches and price gouging. For you in the C-suite, this is your cue to rethink your all-in cloud commitments. Multi-cloud isn't just PR window dressing anymore. It's the linchpin of enterprise AI resilience. If you can't spin up inference clusters on more than one hyperscaler, you're playing with one hand tied behind your back. And yes, more clouds means more attack surface. Security teams, buckle up. Cross-cloud key management and consistent policy enforcement are now make-or-break priorities. If your CM can't map identities across providers, you're already late to the party. Next on the national security docket, White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs dropped a reality check at the AWS summit. China is no laggard. It's a mere 3 to 6 months behind US AI capabilities. That's not a rounding error. It's an alarm bell. If your boardroom debates whether AI regulation will crush innovation, remind them that regulatory overreach could hand Beijing the lead. Sachs' warning crystallizes a tightrope walk. You need guards against bias, privacy, and misuse, but you can't strangle the engine of private sector innovation with red tape. For CISOs, the takeaway is clear. You must architect compliance controls that flex with evolving rules, not rigid frameworks that grind velocity to a halt. Because in this race, if you stall innovation to chase perfection, you'll miss the checkered flag and hand strategic advantage to geopolitical rivals. On the data governance front, a new report from Varonis should make your CM dashboards quake in their boots. 99% of organizations have data more exposed to AI than they realize. Generative models are essentially Pac-Men chomping through your data lakes, jogging on metadata, and blissfully nagging for more prompts. Once sensitive tables slip into an LLM's memory, you can't hit undo. The takeaway? Bake model-aware data governance into your pipelines. Think attribute-level encryption, enforced context windows, and real-time data tagging. If your DLP policy hasn't been updated since before ChatGPT went viral, congratulations, you're practically begging for a breach. Meanwhile, My Jedai, a Russian chatbot startup, left a Canva Creator database wide open on a Chroma instance. No password, no shame. Hundreds of email addresses and survey responses were floating in the wild, courtesy of a single misconfigured database. If you're vetting AI vendors purely on feature checklists, you're doing it wrong. Every innovative AI startup is also a potential supply chain risk. Due diligence isn't just a checkbox in procurement. It's the firewall between your crown jewel data and the next LinkedIn expose. Shifting gears to enterprise adoption, IBM's latest study shows 82% of organizations now treat AI agents as essential workflow partners rather than skunkworks curiosities. Executives anticipate an 8-fold ramp-up in AI-driven processes by year-end,